Welcome back to My Classic Car and the second annual Woodward Avenue Dream Cruise. Woodward Avenue runs from Detroit to Pontiac, Michigan, and was known as the street racing capital of America during the 50s and 60s. Back then, every car nut in the area, from serious racers to hotshot teenagers with daddy's car, would cruise the 8-mile strip of Woodward at every opportunity. The Woodward Dream Cruise is a celebration of the good old days. People cruise up and down Woodward Avenue, stopping at old hangouts to chat and watch others along the way. These people are serious car nuts. Why else would you intentionally choose to be part of the world's largest traffic jam? Marcia, what's your role in this event?
I'm the chairperson for the Ferndale Classic Car and Truck Show, and also the official representative for the City of Ferndale on the Woodward Avenue Dream Cruise Liaison Committee that's made up of the 6 cities that make this event possible.
Well, it's really quite a stunning event. How many cars you got here so far, you think?
We have just under 900. I believe the count was about 889, something in that general vicinity.
It's really grown by leaps and bounds.
The whole event has, from what I understand. Last year we had about 60,000 to 80,000 here. I have no idea what the total is going to be for this year, but it looks close to probably about 100,000 from what I've been out there beeping as I'm going through my golf cart. So it looks like we've got a super turnout. It's a gorgeous day.
Dave, you're the president of the Michigan Hot Rod Association. You guys have a really nice show in itself right here at Woodward. Tell me about it.
Well, this is a great group, a great location. I started working on this last October. Last year's event was very successful. I said, man, we need a place to park, and started working with people here at Northwood Shopping Center, and we were able to secure this lot here for our members.
How many of your members are here?
We have probably about 120 out of our 275 members have their cars here today.
So what do you think? This year a success? You think you'll do it again next year?
Oh, definitely they'll do it next year. This is unbelievable. They expect 750,000 people today, and I believe there is. And the traffic isn't too bad yet, so things are going fantastic. This will be a yearly event.
If you say the traffic's not bad now, I'm not sure I want to stay around for later.
Driving this legendary strip of pavement is almost like driving back in time for some of these people. Sure, some newer cars are mixed in with the classics, but almost everything else is the same. And for one magical weekend, the calendar is turned back 30 or 40 years. Conditions like these force Woodward memories to the surface, and almost everyone has them.
Most of my memories of Woodward Avenue are being caught by the police. But other than that, we used to spend Fridays and Saturday nights just riding up and down from 8 Mile all the way up to 15 Mile in Birmingham. And we used to stop at Ted's Restaurant, which is no longer there. It's a medical center now. And I do have a little piece of memorabilia from it, and that's one of the carry-out tray. From Ted's. And I'm sure that everybody here remembers, going cruising in and out of there.
What's Ted's famous for?
Ted's famous for their 5x5. I don't know how many people in this place out of thousands of people that remember them, but they were the best hamburger in the world.
And how much action was there, street action on Woodward?
Street action all the way from Ted's down to the totem pole, and every place in between.
A lot of racing?
A lot of racing, except I used to borrow my dad's car all the time because I couldn't afford one. But we still had a lot of fun.
What was your dad running in those days?
My dad was running a 1959 Chevrolet, and it took 4 of us to scrape up enough money to put the gas in it. And that was at about $0.25 a gallon. We were poor, but we had fun.
I used to run just about anything out here on Woodward. I'd get beat once in a while by a Corvette or something, but...
Now, you never won any money or anything doing that?
No,
No,
I didn't race for money, I just raced for the fun.
I just got through talking probably about a half hour ago to a high school teacher I had. And I never would have run into him probably if I hadn't been for the Dream Cruise. But yeah, we just talked a half hour ago and reminisced, and I've met some people I haven't seen in 25 years. It would have been, this is the event that did it.
My parents put down the law and said absolutely positively not riding in a car, So I didn't tell any library stories that's where I was going for the evening and ride, so I don't have any memories, unfortunately.
So that's your story and you're sticking to it.
I will stick to it till I die.
We spend the summer kind of going to shows all over the country, but I gotta tell you, we've not been to one like this. It's a madhouse. Our feature this week is an expanded version on our story about the development of the awesome 426 Hemi that first appeared in the pilot series. We received a ton of mail asking for us to replay it, so we thought, what better place to intro the 426 Hemi than Woodward Avenue, the place that inspired Chrysler engineers in the early 60s to develop one of the world's greatest engines.
It became obvious after the war, Second World War, that the market was exploding and it was going to be very competitive, and certainly the old line of long stroke L-head 6 and straight 6 and straight 8 engines that were Chrysler's forte simply weren't going to hack it.
The first production design became the Chrysler line Hemi head V8 engine, and that's the one that then was released for the 1951 model year.
There was not just the Chrysler original Hemi, but also a Dodge version, quite a bit smaller, and then an intermediate for the DeSoto.
Those engines all had the kind of power supremacy that Chrysler liked over the wedge head inline valve engines of other designs.
The Hemi head was an expensive engine to make, but on a mass-produced scale, not much more than the wedge. But management at Chrysler at the time felt that it was a bit too exotic, and they could make engines almost as powerful, some thought as powerful, as the Chrysler Hemi. So 1957 started seeing the window close on the Chrysler Hemi, and by 58, that was the last year of production for the Hemi engine at Chrysler for the first generation.
Well, the Ramchargers was a group of drag racing enthusiasts that just naturally developed in Chrysler engineering.
And they actually worked like a research and development crew. They drag raced for the fun of it, but they actually took what they learned drag racing and brought it back to the corporation.
Major changes regarding the image of the product had to be made, and the decisions were made, and the finances were lined up to do it, and so forth. We were at the ready. I mean, there was this group there that was a natural.
Chrysler was having good success in drag racing circles with its Max Wedge 413, Max Wedge 426. It was a great drag racing car, but on the circle tracks, a NASCAR circuit, the wedge engine did not do as well.
In April of '63, the decision was made, hey, let's do something significant here so that we can go be competitive in NASCAR. We knew what the A311 program could do. We knew what the Hemis had always done. Let's adapt a Hemi head to the basic big block wedge and go blow these guys away.
Well, the hemispherical chamber, as the name implies, is a portion of a sphere, and here you can see the arc shape of the sphere itself. With this, we can bring the spark plug in to the center of the chamber, which is an excellent position for the spark plug. The same shape over in this view allows us to put the valves in a position where when they open, like this inlet valve, it has excellent breathing of the air past the valve seat. And this combination of the excellent breathing of the inlet and the exhaust makes for a very high volumetric efficiency of the engine.
Daytona was very important because if in NASCAR, if someone had won Daytona, they had a successful year right there.
And the chairman of Chrysler said, all right, I want it in time for the Daytona 500 in February of '64. They had less than 12 months to produce an engine from a blank sheet of paper to a full-blown racing engine, and amazingly enough, they did it.
As it turned out, we were able to get our all of our parts together for the buildup of the first engine, first prototype experimental engine, by the end of November of 1963, and the engine ran under its own power on December 6 of 1963.
Chrysler was under a real deadline to bring these engines down to Daytona, install them in cars, obviously prior to the race, but preferably several weeks before the race, so they could get their test time and develop time in for the race.
And we ran into problems with the engine on the durability side. By the end of January, we found that we were cracking cylinder bores. And when we found these cracks and realized what the solution would be to get additional castings, cylinder block castings with heavier bore walls, we were then about 3 weeks away from race day.
Workman was down at the foundry personally, tweaking everything to make it work, you know, and Bob Lechner's driving engines in the back of a pickup all night down to the beach, and all of us are, you know, it was really something.
That finish at Daytona couldn't have been better for the corporation. They let out a cheer at Chrysler Engineering when they swept 1, 2, 3 at Daytona.
It was just a wonderful feeling that all the work we had done had come to fruition in such a dramatic way.
The Hemi legend that began with the Chrysler 300 really took off with the Street Hemi in 1966 that was built upon the racing successes of the race Hemi from 64 to 65 and on.
We knew that we could not just put a race engine into production on the street. That just wouldn't work. But we were able to make a modified version of the engine that became our Street Hemi.
Well, Chrysler had to drop the Hemi in the early 70s for two primary reasons. One were the emission standards that were looming over the horizon, and further down the road, fuel economy standards. The 426 Hemi was a real gas guzzler. And by then there was another problem, that was insurance premiums. That was really socking it to them.
So there had to be almost a business decision whether or not to continue with that level of engineering work, or whether we should say, the Hemi has done its job, let's discontinue it now. We don't want it to ever get a flavor of being a mild-mannered engine. So in 1970, we said, let's stop production.
When we got the green light to go ahead and adapt the Hemi head to the big B engine, that we realized that it would be one day something revered that everybody would look back on as something very special indeed. Yeah, we knew that.
Wow, did we have a good time attending the Woodward Dream Cruise. I know it's hard to believe, but I've done a few wild things in my life, and attending Woodward is one of the wildest. There's no way to describe it, you just have to experience it. Our thanks to everyone who helped us tape a program in this controlled chaos.